Hello and welcome to the Team Tactics series, looking at teams and head coaches during a specific period of their tenure. Brought to you by Elite Football Tactics. In this video, we'll analyse Xavi's first 25 games as head coach of Barcelona and how his 4-3-3 shape has fared so far. It has to be noted that the arrivals of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Ferran Torres, Adama Traore and Dani Alves have all allowed Xavi to implement his ideas, structures and style of play much quicker. And from the 4-3-3 shape, ter Stegen has remained the first choice goalkeeper with Alba at left back. In central defence, Piqué and Araujo have filled the roles, with Eric Garcia also used on the left side of the pairing, with Piqué then moved to the right side. Araujo has also been used at right back on occasion, as has Dani Alves and Serginho Dest. Sergio Busquets has remained the single pivot, with De Jong and Pedri as number 8s. Nico Gonzalez and Xavi have also been used in these roles. Torres and Traore have occupied the wide areas, with Aubameyang now as the single centre forward. Luke de Jong has also played in this role, with Dembele and Xavi also used in the wide areas. From Xavi's 25 games so far, he has won 14, drawn 7 and lost 4 in all competitions. His side has a plus 22 goal difference, averaging exactly 2 goals per game. As with most 4-3-3 structures at the elite level, the wide triangles are extremely important. Most commonly, the winger will move inside as the fullback overlaps, with the number 8 then dropping back to cover. This pattern has been seen on occasion since Xavi's appointment. However, for Barcelona, it is more common for the winger to attack high and wide, as the fullback then moves inside, allowing the number 8 to push forward and make vertical runs through the inside channel. Here against Real Madrid, the left side of Alba, De Jong and Dembele showcases the more traditional rotations, whereas on the right side, the width is provided by Torres, which allows Xavi to push forward as Alves then moves inside in cover. When building, Barcelona's fullbacks often move wide. This creates more central room for single pivot Busquets to receive passes through the opponent's first line of pressure. As the opposing wingers then widen, it also creates central room for one of the 8s, usually De Jong, to drop and form a temporary double pivot if needed. From here, the centre forward will move across slightly as the remaining number 8 pushes forward. Should the opposing midfield jump to press high, Busquets has still showed his ability to play through a central press. But Barcelona will also play around, usually via their now wider fullbacks. Alternatively, they can play over the press, usually finding the far-sided winger who remains high and wide. Here this is in action against Bayern Munich in the Champions League as both fullbacks widen and De Jong drops alongside Busquets. Depay also drops as the centre forward, with Xavi then pushing high through the opposite inside channel. Dembele holds the width on the far side. Both of Barcelona's number 8s have also positioned themselves very high during build-up. Should the opposition follow these movements, inside channel space is created for Busquets to move across and receive, or the winger to move inside and also receive. As the opposing centre-forward often presses Barcelona's centre-backs with an outwards press, any dropping movement via the number 8 from their high starting position now helps work the ball into the other inside channel. If the 8 can't turn due to being followed as they drop, and the single pivot also tightly covered, then the other centre-back is found via a bounce into the inside channel. With the positioning of Xavi's number 8 on the far side still very high, this allows the receiving centre-back to drive forward and exploit the space well into midfield. Here this is seen away at Galatasaray as Garcia drives into midfield. Pedri then drops from his high starting position to bounce the ball back across into the opposite inside channel where Piqué waits. Barcelona's centre-back can then step forward, taking advantage of De Jong's high positioning. Barcelona's number 8s have also demonstrated their wider movements, with the opposition unsure whether or not to follow completely. From here, Xavi centre-backs can step forward into midfield, disguise passing to move the opposing pivot across can also help access a dropping centre forward. But if the opposing 10 is deep enough and covers central access, then Busquets can move away from the ball and receive in the central spaces. Here at home to Galatasaray, both number 8s are positioned very high, ready to run forward through the inside channels. As Garcia steps into midfield, he can disguise his pass into a dropping Depay, with Busquets then positioned behind his initial marker. From here, he can receive a bounce pass and progress the play forward. Another key factor of Xavi's attacking build-up is seeing the high positioning of the number 8s also move closer to the opposing backline. From here, Barcelona's fullbacks both narrow to provide more central passes around Busquets, but also transitional cover should they lose possession. With Barcelona's number 8s moving onto one of the centre-backs, Aubameyang as the centre forward can lock himself onto the other central defender. Barcelona can now occupy the fullback furthest from the ball, plus the opponent's 2 central defenders. This creates a free man on the far side of the pitch as the winger stays very high and very wide. From here they can receive a direct pass over the press, with Piqué's long passing to the winger on the far side particularly noteworthy under Xavi so far. This example pattern can be seen here at home to Osasuna, where Piqué plays over and across towards a wide Torres. Pedri helps Aubameyang occupy both central defenders, with left number 8 Xavi pushing forward, now locking onto the opponent's right back. This positioning here is crucial as it frees Torres to receive Piqué's pass as the free man. As Barcelona's fullbacks will still move inside, they can often lure the opposing wingers further forward. When Xavi played with Iniesta ahead of Busquets, he would often move very wide, often connecting in between the fullback and the winger. However, in his current side, the personnel available will often make wide movements, but only moving into the inside channels. So when facing 2 central midfielders, Busquets often lures one via his central position, with the other following the wide movements shown by the number 8s. This allows Barcelona's other number 8 to become the free man, often positioned between the lines and in the inside channel. As long as Xavi's centre forward then locks himself onto the centre back closest to Barcelona's free number 8, Busquets can then drag his man towards the ball. This creates space for Barcelona's spare number 8 to receive between the lines. From here, the wingers then look to stretch beyond, which also helps create space behind the opposition's midfield line. Away at Real Madrid, Pedri's wide movements dragged his marker away from the centre, with Busquets' dropping also doing similar. Aubameyang then moved across, limiting how early Real Madrid's centre-back could jump out, as De Jong received between the lines as Barcelona's free man. Once Barcelona have locked the opposition into the final third, both of their fullbacks will still remain inside. As the ball is built through the inside channels, Xavi's side still focuses on those wide triangle combinations. With the 8s pushing high to support the single centre forward, the wingers can then drive inside to combine. From here, the number 8 will then push further inside, often working around the single centre forward as the fullbacks overlap. Busquets as the single pivot then locks the edge of the penalty area, with the fullback on the far side, not necessarily used in the attacking move, will position themselves inwards, acting as extra transitional cover to defend any opposing counter-attack. However, the winger on the far side will often move inside, helping fill the penalty area. Against Galatasaray, the central midfield are high, looking to combine with Aubameyang as the single centre forward, as Torres and Traoré begin their inward movements. This helps create space for Alba and Dest to add their overlapping runs, which are delayed around Galatasaray's backline. When defending, Xavi has looked to implement a high pressing strategy where possible. The most common idea has involved one of the number 8s pushing forward, with the centre forward then moving across. The other number 8 then narrows alongside the single pivot, forming a central midfield pairing. Both wingers then recover, helping form the 4-4-2 pressing structure. As the closest in the front line then presses, they often do so looking to cut off the inside channels, with the other centre forward then stopping switches of play. As the opposing central midfield may then drop to receive, Barcelona's central midfield pair aggressively presses. Xavi's wingers then support inside, further filling the inside channels. One of the centre-backs may then be required to aggressively push forward to cover the space beyond Barcelona's aggressive central midfield jump. The closest fullback will then always tuck inside, eventually followed by the fullback on the far side. At home to Bilbao, Barcelona showcased their 4-4-2 high press, with Pedri pushing up and Aubameyang moving across. Busquets and Xavi then jump onto the central midfield opponents, with wingers Torres and Traore working back into the wider spaces. The 4-4-2 structure can also be seen when defending in mid and low blocks, as shown here. But again, one of the eights will still push forward, joining the centre forward. As the central midfield pair then narrows, protecting ahead of the centre backs, both wingers again move inside, creating the second line of four. As the ball is worked wide, the closest in the front line will press outward, attempting to lock the ball into the wide area. As Barcelona's wingers then jump forwards, the closest central midfielder will then move across, often blocking access into the opposing centre forward. If Xavi's remaining central midfielder then takes over to mark an opponent, the winger on the far side will remain around the inside channel, mainly to instigate counter-attacks on the opposite side of the pitch. The 4-4-2 mid-block can be seen here away at Real Madrid, with Pedri jumping out and De Jong working back alongside Busquets. Torres as the closest winger then narrows, stopping the opponent access their players between the lines. There have also been some occasions where Xavi's side has utilised a 4-1-4-1 shape, especially as Barcelona defend their half in mid and low blocks. However, the 4-4-2 shape has been Xavi's first choice across his first 25 games. An alternate example of Xavi's high pressing has again seen one of the number 8s pushing forward alongside the single centre forward. But when up against a single pivot, only one player jumps forward, usually Xavi's other number 8. Both wingers then narrow back into the inside channels, zonally covering the opposed advanced midfielders alongside single pivot Busquets. If the ball is worked wide, then the closest winger for Barcelona still presses out. Barcelona's closest fullback then moves across, ready to press if the ball is worked along the touchline. The rest of the back line then moves across to reset their positioning. It is common to see Busquets as the single pivot, then take over man marking of the opposing attacking midfielder who's closest to the ball. The closest player within Barcelona's first line will also work across, helping cover the opposing pivot player. This allows Barcelona's other number 8 to reposition themselves slightly deeper if needed. Xavi's centre forward will then narrow, helping lock the ball on one side of the pitch. Here, this 4-4-2 diamond press is in action at home to Napoli in the Europa League. Pedri has joined Aubameyang as a centre-forward pairing, with Gonzalez pushing onto the single pivot. Wingers Traore and Torres then work back, ready to press out into the wide areas if needed. De Jong as the single pivot then holds his position, ready to cover inside of his winger teammates if needed. It is fair to say across his first 25 games that Xavi has quickly implemented his style of play, tactical ideas and strategies with increasing success. It will be interesting to see how he progresses from here, with Barcelona likely to be back challenging for silverware under his guidance. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe and share, and don't forget to suggest any new ideas for the channel. Please also check out the latest book from the channel titled Football in a Pandemic, an insight into the strategies and tactics used in the Premier League during the COVID-19 pandemic.